Welcome to Rainy Day Rabbit Holes. I'm Shay, half of your team. Jody and I needed a little bit of a break, so we have a special treat for you. Today, we're sharing an episode from one of our favorite shows, Audibly Haunted, a spine-chilling podcast hosted by the talented Ani Khajadourian. If you're a fan of ghost stories, eerie encounters, and supernatural mysteries, this is the podcast for you. Each episode delves into haunting tales that will send shivers down your spine, all narrated with Ani's captivating storytelling and enhanced by the podcast's excellent production quality. In the episode titled The Reddit Lamp, A Parallel Life, Ani explores a fascinating and unsettling story that surfaced on Reddit. It revolves around a seemingly ordinary lamp that mysteriously begins to act as a portal to a parallel existence. As the tale unfolds, listeners are taken on a journey through a story that blurs the lines between reality and the supernatural. The top-notch production quality brings the story to life, making every detail and chilling moment even more immersive. This episode is a perfect example of the captivating and eerie content that Audibly Haunted delivers. So, dim the lights, put on your headphones, and get ready to be audibly haunted.
In 2023, around November, a strange viral trend began popping up across Instagram and TikTok's For You pages. The first time I saw them, they made no sense, and I simply moved on to the next video. Though the more and more I came across them, the more and more curious I became. Soon, Google experienced an uptick in searches about a Reddit story regarding a lamp. I also found myself digging deep in the comments, trying to understand what these videos meant, and even turned to Google for an answer. The stories feature a man sitting in a living room with an unsettling sound clip playing in the background. As they peer around the room, they notice their lamp is not as it seems. It's two-dimensional and it's pixelated. The person becomes fixated and entranced by the lamp, and the video ends. A few years ago, a user created a thread on Reddit and asked for glitches in the Matrix. On January 12th, 2012, a story was added to the thread. Anyone that came across this thread really never expected the story of the lamp to strike the readers as hard as it did. The story is about a man who makes a discovery of a strange lamp in his home, that once he notices it, he becomes lost in it, staring deep at the lamp day in and day out. It drives him mad. Even family and friends fear for his well-being. He does this until one day it all clicks, and he wakes to find that the last 10 years of his life, his home, his children, his wife, were all but a dream. Though this episode is not exactly paranormal, it strikes a chilling nerve in all of us. It makes us think, are the things around us really as they seem, or are they something else? This brings up the idea of a dream state parallel life. It may not involve ghosts, but it still stirs the pot of the unknown and unexplainable. This week, I bring you Reddit user Tup Totosun's chilling story where he experiences a glitch in the Matrix, if you will, along with the idea of parallel lives. So, let's dive into that. Welcome to Audibly Haunted. I'm your host, Ani Khajadourian. I think we've all been there. You are mindlessly scrolling across Instagram or TikTok when a particular video or photo catches your attention. You dig deep in the comments, hoping to find the answer as to what's happening in this post, and with bits of information within the comments, you head over to Google for more. This happens to me on a daily occurrence, whether it's a news story, a new book, or even trying to find out the artist and title of a song playing in the background of a video. However, a few months ago, this happened to me, and the subject of the video still weaves in and out of my mind. As the algorithm learned the videos I spent a little extra time on, it continued to place before me the same trending video. Always, a man sitting in a dimly lit living room who seems confused by a table lamp in the room. As the camera moves to the lamp, it's a pixelated 2D image of an old Tiffany-style lamp. As the camera cuts back to the man's face, it then quickly moves back to the lamp, with the man now sitting next to it, staring intensely at the two-dimensional lamp. And to top off the creepiness of the video, the music in the background is usually unsettling and off-putting as well. At first, I thought they were just weird trending memes that people started to do. But the more and more they came up, I started to question it. And this is when I hit the comments. Everyone commented, "Check out the creepy Reddit lamp story." And that's exactly what I did. I didn't have to search too hard before I found the original story pinned on the original Reddit page. What I found interesting is the story wasn't even the main thread. However, it was simply a comment left on the main thread by a user. This is definitely a mind-boggling story, and the original comment is titled "A Parallel Life / Awoken by a Lamp." For those who have not read it before, it goes something like this. In my last year at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player for walking where he was trying to drive. Note, he was 325 pounds, I was 120 pounds. While unconscious on the ground, I lived a different life. I met a wonderful young lady. She made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately, she bore me a daughter. I had a great job, and my wife didn't have to work outside of the house. When my daughter was 2, my wife bore me a son. My son was the joy of my life. I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. One day, while sitting on the couch, I noticed that the perspective of the lamp was odd. Like it was inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. It was a square lamp base with a red gold trim on 4 legs and a white square shade. I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Something was just not right about the lamp. I stopped eating. I left the couch only to use the bathroom at first. Soon, I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at the lamp for 3 days before my wife got really worried. She had someone come and try to talk to me. By this time, my cognizance was breaking up, and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had my epiphany. The lamp, it's not real. The house is not real. My wife, my kids, none of this is real. The last 10 years of my life are not real. The lamp started to grow wider and deeper. It was still inverted dimensions. It took up my entire perspective, and all I can see was red. I heard voices, screams, all kinds of weird noises, and I became aware of pain, an immense amount of pain. The first words I said were, "I'm missing teeth," and opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk, surrounded by people that I didn't know. Lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, a cop scooped me up, walked me across the sidewalk and grass, and threw me face down in the back of a cop car. I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the cop and given CT scans and other tests. I went through about 3 years of horrid depression. I was grieving the loss of my wife and children and dealing with the knowledge that they never existed. I was scared that I was going insane as I would cry myself to sleep, hoping I would see her in my dreams. I never have, but sometimes I see my son, usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He is perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear exactly what it is that he says to me. The user who posted this story commented a few days later, stating that many people had reached out to him, saying they too had experienced something incredibly similar. After reading this story, it got me thinking, what if our dreams are more than just chemical sensations within our brains as we sleep the night away? Many different cultures approach dreams as something more. Within Native American culture, they view dreams as a connection within the universe. They view dreams as a sacred place and believe that when a person closed their eyes, they can transcend the bounds of this reality and regular existence, entering that of the universal consciousness. They believed also that dreams were a glimpse into lives that were never our own in any life, but rather like a window into something else. Greeks and Romans believed that our dreams were the ways to receive messages from the gods. Within Chinese culture, dreams were seen as a way for our ancestors to visit us and fuel us with helpful messages and guidance. Ancient Hebrew culture believed that sleeping opened the connections between the living world and that of the spiritual world. It seems crazy to think that when you lay your head down, you can enter a life that is yours, but not yours exactly. And while this seems like science fiction, even actual science has begun to think that maybe there's more that goes on when we sleep. A few years ago, Harvard Medical School discovered dreams may be more than our brain firing off as we enter REM sleep. They believe it to be actual experiences that happen within a certain point in our unconsciousness. Maybe when we fall into a deep sleep, our brains become freed of our blockers that we put up when we're awake, keeping us stuck in our reality. Maybe this is why we see things outside of our realm when there's the use of hallucinogenic drugs. It makes you question, what exactly did the Reddit user experience? Was this a parallel universe they entered as the trauma from being hit over their head took over their mind? Was it maybe the reliving of a past life? The mind really is a wondrous yet frightening place. What if what we store within our subconsciouses are the memories of our past lives as well? Maybe this could explain why we dream of places we've never been to or people we've never met. Maybe you just haven't seen those people or places in this life. The Reddit user's mind created space and time just for him, making him the main character and allowing him to make his own decisions, choices, and actions. New research done on the brain and dreams states, in dreams we leave the conscious universe and can experience an alternate cognitive model of reality, very different from the one shared by other observers while awake. In dreams, the fine structure of the wave function of the universe around us is delocalized and thus largely unstable. This explains why you often have more power while dreaming. This unstableness, I guess you can say, maybe was the inverted lamp that brought down the whole play the user was in. What is speculated is that the deeper your brain slips into REM sleep and allowing the subconscious to go wild, the more vivid your dreams will be. The user experienced harsh trauma and his mind slipped deep into being unconscious. Maybe this is why the dream was so vivid. Maybe this explains why everything went so wonderfully for the user, because it's their dream. They get what they want. Just like the first season of SpongeBob SquarePants, when SpongeBob falls from his dream bubble and ventures into the dreams of others. He enters Patrick Star's dream and sees that Patrick is riding a mechanical seahorse and runs out of quarters. He asks SpongeBob for a quarter so he can continue riding the mechanical seahorse. SpongeBob explains to him, "Patrick, this is your dream. You can have as many quarters as you want." But this brings a new question. If the dream is mine, if this unstable universe gives me strengths, then why can't I run fast in my dreams? I guess, even with the mind deep within the time and space it creates, it needs working memory from the body, the use of the senses and muscle, still, to truly become immersed in the parallel universe. The one section of dreams that still stumps anyone who researches a dream state parallel universe are nightmares. When the nightmare hits a certain degree, your body springs itself awake, grasping at the comfort that you are back in your own calm reality. But some question that what if the you within a different life or separate parallel universe is experiencing that nightmare's challenge and your mind was showing you just a taste? This episode does touch on a big what if and an even larger maybe. But who is to say it's not true? Other than the ocean, the least explored or understood thing on this planet is the human mind. It is complex and holds a great deal. So who is to say you aren't seeing the reality of another you? And furthermore, who's to say they aren't peering into your reality? The human mind and spirit truly is like no other. I do believe that we hold on to our past memories from other lives, and they find us when we are lost in our subconscious as we sleep. Why is it so hard to believe? We know that at times when the body dies, our souls and spirits still live on. And in some places, some spirits are flickering on lights or pulling on loved ones' toes. So why can't our minds send us to places beyond our reality or show us what once was our reality? Who knows what the Reddit user experienced as they lay there knocked out? But their story broadens the mind to question those what ifs and even larger maybes when it comes to dreams and alternate realities. This has been Audibly Haunted, and I'm your host, Ani Khajadourian. You can find Audibly Haunted wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Music, you name it. Give it a listen, drop a rating, a review, and share with all your friends. And remember, you can always find Audibly Haunted on Instagram at Audibly Haunted. And if you have a ghost story that you would like to share, I would love to hear it. You can always reach out to me at audiblyhaunted@gmail.com or send me a message on Instagram. I would love to hear from all of you. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all next week.
Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. I'll link it in the show notes. And Jody and I will see you next Wednesday with a brand new episode of the Rainy Day Rabbit Holes podcast. See you down the rabbit hole.